What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, January 12th, 2019. I hope you're doing well. Bitcoin trading within a crazy range. Do you have the patience? Sometimes I don't know if I have the patience. I like when Bitcoin's volatile. For whatever reason, I do. You can see it on the chart, the hourly chart, which I don't visit often. We're talking about a 1% range, around a 1% range Bitcoin trading within. We're going to talk about that. So let's jump right into the technical analysis and what is potentially ahead for Bitcoin. Before we do, I want to just underline this video by saying my approach, I don't know about you, but my approach for Bitcoin is, if you look at the zoomed out chart, very simple. I have, for my analysis, long-term analysis, a very strong conviction that Bitcoin is within its bottom range, meaning right down here is Bitcoin's bottom range. Now, could we go another 20, 30% to the downside? Yes, we could, and I'm aware of that. However, just like every other bottom for Bitcoin, I believe we are in this bottom range, and it's a bottom range of accumulation, at least for me. That's not financial advice. I'm going to do a video on this long-term weekly trend for Bitcoin and talk about it in context to the halving that's in the future, but I'm going to do that this week. So just wanted to throw that out there. I'm accumulating. And, we zoom in on the charts right now. We talk about the 4-hour chart and the hourly charts, but in the end, I really am accumulating, whether we're here or whether we're another 30% down. So let's talk about where Bitcoin is in terms of right now. Obviously, don't need to talk much about it. Here's the left shoulder, there's the head, here's the right shoulder, and here's the failure of the inverse head and shoulders for Bitcoin that we recently got. Unfortunately, everybody was hoping for a breakout on that inverse head and shoulders. We didn't get it. Now, what we did get is support at a range we've been tracking for Bitcoin. If you look at Fibonacci retracement, that previous swing low on the mid-range to the swing high, here's our Fibonacci range right here, that 618786, very important area. We use it all the time on this channel successfully, and you can see that was our first area of support after rejection at that neckline. Now, what are we looking at right now? Well, in terms of on the very short time frame, and in terms of closed hourly candles, we can see 3610 is really an area where Bitcoin has closed, and kind of bounced off of multiple times. And so I want to just throw this out there right now. We're talking about around 1.2% range for Bitcoin since this, I think, let me see, January 10th, I believe. So since January 10th, a 1.2% range Bitcoin has been trading in with decreasing volume. So it's kind of, these things do happen, just not as often because Bitcoin is so volatile. People are used to, 5% swings on the upside to the downside. So when you get a range like this, it gets difficult with the indecisiveness that you see in the market and the different sentiment that you see in the market. It gets difficult to anticipate, well, what direction is it actually going to go from here? Because right now you even see it's right in the middle of this range. But I think what the better thing to do is kind of in the midterm, get a grasp of the potential for Bitcoin. So here we go. Right now, we've been talking about this potential descending triangle with 2 touches to the upper trend line. We have 2 touches to the bottom trend line. So we don't have that descending triangle yet, but it's a potential one that we're on the lookout for. So what could that look like? We could have another, let's say from here, and we're talking about the upside now. We could have an upside break to the upper trend line of around 10, 11% to form a new lower high to confirm this descending triangle. And if we get that break, what you'd want to look for is, are we going to break this previous resistance area, this orange line, which is that neckline, and it's also right around that 50 EMA on the daily charts, and are we going to break this upper trend line of the descending triangle? If we get a break, if volume comes in, the bulls step in, and Bitcoin kind of goes a little crazy, we could see a potential run up to $4,700, and that's an area of resistance right now in terms of Bitcoin. And I know that's a good amount away, right? So, and if you want to get an idea of how far away that is from where we are right now, we're talking about 30% gains. We all know how quick it could come. Now, on the flip side, we could get a break below our Fibonacci support, our mid-range Fibonacci support. This isn't our target. This is a target for if we have a confirmed descending triangle up here and then see, you know, another touch to the bottom. Our target to the downside of a confirmed descending triangle is down here around 3,000. Now, if we get a break below right now, if we get a breakdown below this green channel of support, which is our Fibonacci support we're watching on this channel, you know, I don't think everybody's watching that. That's the way I do my technical analysis, and I'm pretty confident in it. If we get a break below this area, our real only support is this $3,100 area, that previous low for Bitcoin. And in my opinion, I don't think it's that strong of support. So what we have is really a target on the downside of around $2,500. So we're really right in the middle of all of this. And there's not one person I know of on YouTube or in this world that can tell you which direction we're going to go. So that is why what I did to open this video is I said this: could we see 20, 30% to the downside? Absolutely. And it would be very synergistic with our technical analysis to the downside right here to our target area, a new low for Bitcoin. It is our Fibonacci retracement from swing low to swing high, and it's our 1.618, that golden number right around there in this channel. So that's possible. And it is also possible to go $4,700. So at the end of the day, technical analysis is to anticipate and is to get confirmations. If you're here looking for predictions, please just kind of sit back and reevaluate why you're doing that, because there's no one on YouTube that's going to give you a prediction on what's going to happen. And if they do and they're right, it's because they guessed and they got lucky. Now, what we're looking for are confirmations of volume, confirmations of breakouts above resistance areas. Then we can start talking about more confidently accumulating. But right now, in the middle of this range, right, where we have potentially 30% on the downside, potentially 30% on the upside, in the middle of that range, what you do and what I do is I take my risk tolerance, I take the amount of fiat I feel comfortable, whether we go up or down, and I accumulate. And I have fiat available for new lows down here at $2,500. So that's my approach right now. I have been accumulating just a little bit. And actually, since the last 2 days, I haven't accumulated at all. Just want to throw that out there. I'm really kind of just sitting back because I'm really intrigued by this hourly channel that we're in, this 1% range, and I want to see what happens. I'm really going to begin opening my eyes and begin getting ready. If we break this 3610 and really start to make our move into this green Fibonacci area of support, that's a very critical thing for me. If we break that support, I'll be hanging out and I'll be just waiting for some, short-term capitulation to accumulate some more, right? So we're talking about those 10, 15%, 20% red days. That's what I'll be waiting for. But right now, just kind of sitting back, watching the 4 hour, keeping an eye on the 1 hour to see what happens. Let me know your thoughts. How you making out? Are you accumulating? I know many of you out there, I see it in the comments, think we're going lower, and you can see the potential for that happening on the screen right now. So time will tell. I appreciate all of you. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I would love to have you as part of the channel. I will see you all in the next video. Have an awesome Saturday, and God bless.